Let's talk about this Indian trade deal, which kind of emerged late yesterday afternoon. Ostensibly, at first, it seemed like quite a good situation. I mean, getting a decent trade deal with a massive economic entity like India is a good thing. There's no doubt about that. The trouble is, the small print is not so good. First of all, we learnt last night that the Indian workers who will be allowed to come and work here, live and work here, legal visas, of course, more legal migrants, won't have to pay national insurance, which will make them very, very attractive to employers. Companies will hire these people way before they hire British people because they're going to be that much cheaper. Also, British people will find themselves working next to their Indian colleagues who are earning more than them because the British employees are having to pay national insurance. Now, that's something that I think is not fair. And I think a lot of British people agree with me. But here's what really worries me about this. Look, I accept if you're going to do a significant trade deal with a major economic country like India, you're going to have to make some compromises, some sacrifices. That's fair enough, but you've got to look at them. When this deal was off, this same deal was offered to the Tory government, Kemi Badenoch, the then business secretary, turned it down because of the national insurance clause. She said that's not fair. So she turned it down. One of her rare good decisions, I suspect. But this is the aspect of it that really, really worries me, though. This will unleash an influx of Indian workers into this country. Now, it is estimated that as many as 500,000 Indians may soon be on their way to live and work in Britain legally. Good luck to them and all that. But we let in already 1 million legal migrants every year. And everybody said, we're going to cut back on that. It's ridiculous. This country is full. We can't handle this. We're going to get 500,000 more. In case people doubt the magnitude of that number, in 2023, when we didn't have a deal with India, 250,000 Indians came here under the same arrangement. And even last year, when the government had for 2 years desperately been trying to cut back on this enormous number coming over from the sub-Indian continent, it was like the best part of 90,000. So 250,000 in 2023, 90,000 last year. When this deal comes in, 500,000, that's probably a conservative estimate. Wait, this is ridiculous.
Well, let's pause just for a minute to reflect on what's happened here politically. So less than a week ago, Keir Starmer and the Labour Party got an absolute kicking in the local elections and in that by-election, primarily because of immigration. And then in a few days after that absolute kicking over immigration, what do? They announce more immigration. It does make me wonder, are these people mad, bad, or just staggeringly stupid? What is it that they don't understand about where the British people are right now on the immigration question? As a Brexiteer, of course, I want to see the mega trade deals of this kind. And it's fantastic that we've got a trade deal with India. But there's a reason that the last Prime Minister, Rishi Sunak, the Tory Prime Minister, kept on turning down the arrangements that the Indian government were trying to make. You know, Rishi Sunak desperately wanted a trade deal with India. He, of all people, he's from an Indian family. His parents-in-law live in India. And he kept on declining it because the Indian government was making unreasonable demands for additional visas. And then along comes Keir Starmer and he's like, yeah, sure, you know, you can have this deal and this free national insurance system over 3 years. And apparently these people will be able to come for a limited period on this basis. Well, first of all, I don't believe that a limited period, the 3-year thing, will end up just being 3 years in many cases. We've seen this too many times before. People come over and they are supposedly on a short-term visas, and then, you know, they get, as I said on Jeremy Kyle's show earlier today, they get themselves a pet goldfish, and then due to their human rights, they can't be asked to leave.
Yeah.
Or they have a child, or they get into a relationship, whatever it may be. Secondly, I worry that
They take a liking to the chicken nuggets here and they won't like the taste of them back in India, something like that.
Something like that, and then there's the question of how many dependents they'll be allowed to bring. And at this point, the UK just does not need any more immigration. And final point I would make on this is, if they're not paying national insurance, are they therefore not allowed to access any of the public services like the health service that national insurance helps to pay for? Or are they going to have full access to all our benefits and publicly funded services? I suspect it's the second of those things. How can that be right?
It's going to be the latter without a shadow of a doubt. But as you say, I mean, it's tin-eared doesn't begin to cover Labour's attitude to this deal. It's a £5 billion trade deal. It's well worth it. And as you quite rightly say, Rishi Sunak and Kemi Badenoch back in the day, when they were still the government, were chomping at the bit to sign this deal, and it would have made them look very good. Great post-Brexit deal, you know, independent Britain and all that. And I mean, full marks to them for resisting the temptation, because they saw that the drawbacks outweighed the pros. The cons outweighed the pros. The national insurance just is not fair. It will enrage people. It already has enraged people. But as I say, my biggest concern, and I'm sure a lot of people will agree with me, is, you know, we've already, you know, we let in every year the best part of 1 million, sometimes more, legal migrants. What the hell is that about anyway? This deal could easily add 500,000. So we'll end up letting in 1.5 million. 500,000 of them Indians. Now, you know, I've got no problem with whoever the hell we let in. It's just we should not be letting in that many people. To say, yeah, we just signed a deal that could add another 500,000 to our tally of legal migrants who come to this country every year, it's just extraordinary that they don't see any problems with that. Well, I think they do. But I think this is a disaster.
It's totally taken the shine off their announcement. I mean, they obviously thought they would be able to announce this trade deal in a blaze of positive publicity. But yet again, nobody inside Number 10 was able to see this through the eyes of the vast majority of British workers, who will say, what the hell? What are you doing? And now all the headlines are going to be about two-tier tax. Yeah. We've had two-tier everything else. It's two-tier tax, yeah. Totally spoils the celebration that they had planned. And, you know, I'm not sorry for them, because how is it that they just couldn't see this? It's utterly bizarre.
Yeah, as I say, the Indians that turn up here, some of them, many of them actually looking for work. It's not company transfers. Some of them will be, but many of them will just come here looking for work. They may find it quite easy to get work, much easier than the average Brit, because they're going to be so much cheaper to hire. Because companies, of course, have to make rather sizable national insurance contributions to the employees' national insurance payments. So employees pay them and companies pay them. As I was saying last night, you know, big companies, when Rachel Reeves went back on her promise and hiked national insurance for companies, it's costing big companies like the one we work for here, for example, News UK, companies that employ thousands of people. The bill for this increase on national insurance is just astronomical. It's astronomical. So these guys that come over, and girls, of course, that come over from India, no national insurance requirements, they're going to be very attractive. So if you're a Brit and you're going for a job and you're up against one of these new Indian arrivals, you're not getting the job. So that is worth thinking about.
Yeah, just
Go on.
Just to be clear, Kev, in theory, it is only intercompany transfers, but the worry is that there'll be a bunch of fake companies set up in Delhi and a bunch of fake companies at the other end. We've seen it all before with fake universities, and that's what will happen.
Absolutely. As I say, these, it's, in case you doubt the number of Indians that have already been coming over, the numbers are massive. As I said, 2023, 2 years ago, 250,000. That was without this deal. So 500,000 with this deal. I mean, there may be trouble ahead.